Little mathematicians, we're going to stick with the theme of mini beasts or bugs, insects. We're going to use an activity called Bugs on Leaves. Now, the focus of this activity is to have a larger collection and separate it into smaller amounts or smaller groups. We might be able to discover whether some groups can be formed equally and some can't be formed equally. That might depend on the amount that we're using. Today, we're going to use some insects and some leaves. You might have some toy insects, but if you don't, you could just use counters or blocks instead. For your leaves, you might be able to gather some from outside, but again, if not, you could just use some paper. We're going to have a go together of bugs on leaves. I'm going to show you what to do so then you can have a practice where you are too. For this activity, little mathematicians, you'll need 2 big leaves. I'm using 2 big leaves drawn onto green paper. You might have 2 big leaves at your house that you can use from outside. Otherwise, you can do what I've done and just draw some big round shapes or some big leaf shapes onto some paper. I have my counters here that are going to be my pretend bugs today, and I have some number cards. Today you need to flip a card over and use that many bugs to find out whether they can be shared equally onto these leaves. Here's the number 8, so I need to start with 8 bugs. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I'm going to see if I can share 8 bugs equally onto these 2 green leaves. Here are my 8 bugs. There are 8 here all together. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I definitely used all 8. And I've shared them equally. There are 4 on this leaf and 4 on this leaf. 8 can be shared equally onto 2 leaves. Let's take a look at another number. This time I'm going to show you how you can make it a little bit trickier. You could flip a card and roll a dice. You could add those together. Or you could flip 2 cards and add that amount together. So I flipped 9 and 4. 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. 9 and 4 make 13. I'm going to find out whether 13 bugs can be shared onto these 2 leaves. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 12 and 1 more. 13. I have 13 bugs here. Let's see if I can share them equally. I have 1 left over. Can I get another bug, little mathematicians? No, because then I wouldn't be working with the number 13. I'm meant to be working with 13. Can I just put it on one of the leaves and leave it? Well, now I'm not sharing equally, so that wouldn't work either. Number 13 can't be shared between 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So this looks equal, but this isn't the number 13. My 13th counter is here, and I can't put it on either of these leaves because otherwise it won't be fair and it won't be sharing equally. This tells us that number 13 can't be shared between 2 leaves. I want you to have a go of sharing some bugs onto leaves today and find out whether some of the numbers can be shared equally between 2 leaves or some can't. If this is too easy for you today, remember you could be using combinations of numbers. You could also work with more leaves. Instead of working with 2 leaves, you might work with 4 leaves. You might use just the larger numbers from your pile of cards instead of the smaller numbers. What can you find out today by sharing some bugs onto leaves?